Scott Brown here. This is a piece of Rimu, heavy native timber here in New Zealand. My house is built out of this stuff. The framing, the floorboards, and we need more of it for our renovation. So if you look into the floor here underneath the carpet, it's actually really nice Rimu, all planed and smooth. So we're going to need more of that. We're moving walls around, we're changing things, we're lifting up carpet. So the issue with Rimu though is that it is a protected species. It grows slowly, so you can't just buy meters and meters of it anymore. So we are going to have to come up with another way, and in this exciting episode I'm going to turn a scrap piece of Rimu like this into a beautiful floorboard. Remember a couple of episodes back when I pulled up that strange cupboard thing? That was like an entryway into the garage? Well, it turns out that timber that I pulled out of there is Rimu. And Rimu is nice timber. You just gotta tidy it up a bit. My friend Ray has access to a workshop that has big machinery, so like bandsaws, thicknesses, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping there's something there that will allow me to rip that stud down to the same dimensions as the flooring that's throughout my house. Hey buddy. Alright, so we just took the Rimu in there and we're going to try and rip it along with some other timber that Ray has. Hi Ray.
Hi Scott.
How you doing?
I'm alright. How are you? Might be the rebar. Oh no.
Staple maybe. Oh look, there's a metal. Oh, is that a nail?
Is it working?
Yeah, it is.
Try my leg. That's working.
You're kidding.
Did it replace? The full
Yeah.
replacement, yeah.
There you go. What was Rimu framing around the entrance to my garage there? Just rough sawn, rough stuff. Well, like that basically. Yeah, look at this piece here. I'm definitely gonna need to sand it, but look at this, look at the grain on that. So my plan, my idea is to get the tongue and groove router bits that I have and put a tongue and a groove on the sides, and then I can patch the floorboards in there where I need to. And we're definitely going to need to patch the floorboards, so what do you reckon? I'm so stoked how it came out, honestly. You never know when you look at that rough sawn stuff. I mean, look at that. I actually can't believe it.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm really surprised at how it came out from what was a couple of pretty crappy looking pieces, if I'm honest. Yeah.
That's the before.
That just shows the limits of my imagination, because I couldn't have foreseen that that would turn into this. So you said you're gonna router out
on the edge here it needs a tongue on one side and a groove on the other side.
groovy.
These are yuccas. I'm not a fan of yuccas. We have them all around the house. They're kind of on the perimeter of the house out the front, and they just keep growing back, and there's a few through here. At one stage we couldn't even walk into that part of the garden because the yuccas were like, they're very sharp. We got the chaps and everything, Bruce.
When you've been cut with a chainsaw once, you don't ever want to be cut with a chainsaw again.
You've been cut with a chainsaw?
I had overalls on.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel it because the chainsaw was so sharp.
Oh my god.
The next thing I thought, why have I got this warm feeling in my leg? Not nice.
Not nice at all. The size of the thing, eh?
Feels like, I imagine chopping a giant pineapple would be like. There's just so much moisture coming out of the...
Kind of crazy. That yucca there is a fast growing tree, and you can see how soft it is compared to that rimu, which is a slow growing tree. The difference in trees is insane. And I guess the pine that we use to build houses these days, that pink stuff, that's probably somewhere in between. I'm no arborist, don't quote me on that, but I find it interesting that trees can vary so much. Look at this. Look at this beauty. What do you call this, Jess? Multi-grain sourdough?
Yeah.
Locally baked? Fresh from this morning?
Apparently it's baked by a guy called Johan.
Toaster, $10 from Kmart. Had it for 5 years. So Bruce there, he has been helping us a lot since we moved into this house. He let me borrow the trailer, the scaffold that we used in the garage was his. Just really nice guy. He's friends with Gaston, that was the connection. The only problem with this toaster is it's not big enough for these big pieces, so I have to flip it like that and then go down again. Avocado on toast and peanut butter, locally made. Pick's peanut butter just up the road. One more thing that I need to do with these floorboards. After smoking. You can't just cut it square and flat and then just bump the timber together, it won't really work. You need something to stop the timber from going up and down on the floor. So you interlock it with a tongue on one side and a groove on the other. So I need to do that if I'm going to use it in my house here. So let's see how we can put a tongue and a groove on this. Alright, so I bought this cordless Hikoki 1/2 inch router a while ago. And I really like it. It's a good router. You know, if you're going to move a lot of wood, you need to do so with a big bit. One of the big bits that I bought recently is this one here. And I did that with this renovation in mind. I didn't think I was going to make tongue and groove floorboards. I thought I'd be able to get second-hand ones easier, but I knew I'd probably be cutting a floorboard, you know, to make it fit somewhere and then losing the tongue or the groove. So let's open this up. You've got to be super careful with this stuff, as my friend Gaston found out the hard way when we were using the very same model of router. So let's hope that's not famous last words coming from me here. Alright, so this cuts the, careful. The plastic is so rigid, surely there should be some foam. Oh, there is some foam. Gently does it. Oh my god. Ah, man, they really hold that in there, huh? There we go. So there's your 1/2 inch shank. We'll set it up so we can cut a groove and set it up so we can cut a tongue. I bought this 1/2 inch router a while ago now, at least a year, and I've used it a couple of times. And typically there's not much that sets tools apart. All the cordless ranges are quite good. You know, if you get one impact driver, it's almost going to be as good as the other impact drivers from the other companies. But this particular router sets itself apart by being the only cordless router with a 1/2 inch shank. And just to be clear, I paid for this. This isn't an ad. But you can also get a power adapter and turn it into a power router as well. So I think that's pretty sweet. I think the way it works is there's a nut on the top there. You can loosen that nut, and then just below the nut there's all these packers. Can you see them, little shims? And I guess you take out shims or you add shims to make this gap bigger, and that gives you the ability to adjust your tongue and groove depth. I'm just gonna leave it how it is and see what happens, basically. Trial and error. Always wear a mask when cutting this stuff. Like a lot of timber in New Zealand, it's not good to breathe in. Look. I think it works. I think there's a lot of sawdust. That might be an outside job from now on. I haven't got it perfect. I locked it together just before and one's a little bit higher than the other. But look at that. You see how that works? No, I'm not even holding one of them. Also need to do a better job at centering it, but you get the idea, right? Tongue groove floorboards made out of studs that were just framing up this weird entrance to this garage. Wow. Yes!
God, it's so dusty in here.
How's Bunnings?
It's good. I bought a bunch of things for my plants.
Plant stuff.
I've got a fungus gnat problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, actually, if anyone knows what to do about that, apart from adding pumice, perlite into my soil, and core brigette. I actually don't even know what that is.
Core brigette.
Core brigette. And I'm gonna put some worm castings on it as well. Actually, someone who watches the videos sent in a bunch of information about worm farms, which is very helpful. So if that was you, thank you. Yeah. I don't think I can segue from a worm farm to Squarespace.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. In all seriousness, big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform where you can build your brand and run your business online. If you're running a business, you need a place online to show your potential customers what you're doing. And one of the best ways to do this is with a Squarespace website. Squarespace will make that super easy for you with their portfolios, galleries. They have automatic image scaling, so if you're looking at it on an iPad, it looks the same as if you're looking at it on your phone. Squarespace also do a good job of connecting your social media to your website, and it's just an easy way of creating the website. You drag and drop files. You know, if you've got an image, you just drag and move it around. You don't need to know how to code and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Squarespace also offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And then once you're ready to launch your website, head to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So thank you to Squarespace for helping support the channel. Thank you to you for watching this exciting episode. And with a minor tweak here and there, I think we have a winner. The timber was a bit more warped than I thought. You probably noticed that. But I think we can make this work. We also have a demo plan as well, and a lot of walls are coming out. So we should have access to a lot more Rimu studs. If you're local, if you're on the top of the South Island, anywhere of New Zealand, let me know where you would get this kind of flooring from, because if I can't make enough of it, I'm gonna need to try and find some recycled floorboards from somewhere. I've tried so far and I haven't had much luck. See you in the next exciting episode.